ruin the
Let me just tell you something. I will never, ever take that many mushrooms and watch a political debate again.
Yes, you will.
I was on Jerry Springer's podcast, and this is way fucking better than that.
Take me into your portal. I'm ready.
The hell did you just say?
I'm bummed. I'm bummed. I never knew we were dating that whole time, though. You should have texted me. It probably would have been really fun if I'd known.
Saw a bunch of people run into the Capitol. I thought, fuck, this sounds like a fun idea. It wasn't until I got home, people were like, Jay, I didn't know you were a racist conservative. And I was
I am waiting here 1,000 years here. What's going on? You talking about something? Yeah. How are you, everybody?
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for The Least We Could Do with your hosts here tonight on Saturday, the 6th of February, 2021. We got Jimmy and Dwayne.
Jimmy and Dwayne. I like how you're doing the date now, Kyle. I enjoy that. I write it down on my show notes every Saturday, and now you
Fantastic.
say it.
Welcome to The Least We Could Do. Another week, another show. It is our 25th show, quarter of 100.
That's like 25%.
You know, we didn't mention on the 20. We had our 23rd episode on the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't mention that. It was our golden episode.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It was, yeah. Well, you know, like having our first episode on the 1st of August seemed special, but I'm not into numerology. I saw that movie 27 with what's his name, Richard Cage, and it was a stupid movie. It was like everything is 27. I'm not one of those. Are you a numerology guy?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I got an email.
You know, numerology is big in Asian cultures.
Well, no disrespect to our friends from the South.
Well, there were always certain numbers that, like when I used to work for a cell phone company, unnamed cell phone company. Well, fuck it, it's Singular Wireless. When they would want to change their phone number, they didn't want numbers with certain numbers in them.
Oh yeah.
You know,
because they were unlucky or something like that. Yeah, I get it.
Right.
I mean, look, do you know? I get it, but it is a pain in the ass. Like when you're trying to give somebody a phone number and it's just like, okay, you want an 800 number here?
Guess what, motherfucker? I'm gonna charge you $38 every time you call to change your phone number.
So let's get to Kyle. Kyle, you doing all right? How's everything? You just got off of work and now you're working again.
Yeah. I get off of work. I get on here and somebody yells at me from his soul.
Oh, you see, I wasn't going to bring that up. I wasn't going to bring it up.
And then, but everything's okay now. Everything's okay now. So I'm okay. I'm better. I'm a better person for it. And so
listen,
are you.
we're gonna probably get into that with our first, not our first official guest, but our unofficial guest who may be joining us here in a couple minutes. You can bring it up with her. Okay. So thank you for putting the show together. You didn't do the slideshow this week. It is all me in the slideshow department.
Slideshow's gonna suck.
It's probably gonna suck, but we got it. So anyway, if it's your first time joining us, we do the show every Saturday from 8 to 10 Central Time. Some people like to say it's 9 to 11 on the East Coast time. We can't prove it because we're here. We're coming at you from Austin, Texas. It's just kind of stupid thing that we decided to do because we couldn't get together in person and hang out at the bar. And now it's the worst thing in Kyle's life, but we continue to do it. And we don't ask him how much he enjoys it because we know the answer, and we thank him. He's our faithful producer and faithless listener.
That's why my head is the biggest.
Now we got a great show tonight. Kevin Welch is joining us from EFF-Austin, and then we've got Mike Hidalgo, singer-songwriter. He's been on my old show, the Lost and Sound Lounge. He was on it, I think, twice. Once as the main artist, but he also his first iteration on the show was as a drummer for.
We're gonna get into this, but these two guys are connected. These two guests are connected.
Yeah, they're connected at the Weenus, and we're gonna get into that. Now you have a Weenus, Dwayne. How is it, and how are you?
I mean, my Weenus is fine. Hiyo.
I hope you are enjoying your show. Well, Mom, we don't know. You can ask Kyle how much.
We'll find out how much we're gonna enjoy the show.
I'm a handful.
Remember our sponsors. That's all I gotta say.
Let's get to the sponsors. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got Styco's Nut Scrub, clean in Texas, one nut at a time. One of the best industrial hand cleaners out there. We use it at the shop, which is Don's Automotive. Also, Jimmy's Bazaar. Gonna be handling the auction for Come and Shave It, which is the 15th annual Come and Shave It by the Austin Facial Hair Club. We're sponsored by their shop, their store. New announcement, and maybe you can get a picture of this from the web. And I'm sorry I didn't remind you of this, Kyle. It is in the slideshow, but the shirts are up. Austin Facial Hair Club has we're going to do a limited printing, and it's pre-order only for the Come and Shave It 15 shirts designed by our one and only. We love him to death. You saw him in the intro. P-Lander Yellow. He designed our logo. Shirts are available. Start ordering them now. They will go out a week after the competition wraps up on the 20th. That's February 20th. That's when Cassie is. Also, Fluffy White Biscuits. Got stickers coming for Fluffy White Biscuit. I think we might even have some pins. I don't know. Is that? Oh, and Talking Beards Network. Thank you, Talking Beards Network, for always supporting us and doing more promotions than we do. I mean, look, I feel the pressure. I feel the pressure to put more promotion out there because there's now more maybe our eyes on us. But look, we were rolling at a steady clip of mediocrity, and we're still kind of skating along on that. So be patient with us. We're bad at the technology. I'm a shit technology.
I mean, we're not trying to get any better, really. We want to keep it as terrible as it is right now. We don't want to. We want to keep it even.
It's like a limbo contest where it's at about 4 feet, and you just keep going back and forth. You never lower it. I mean, that's my kind of limbo contest. Keep the bar low or high. In a limbo scenario, you want to keep the bar high.
I mean, depends on how good you are at leaning backwards.
Yeah. Well, I'm not good at that.
Well, no, you're top heavy.
Do I have all the sponsors? Oh, no. We got Cosmic Cowboy, Quality Smoke Shop and Boutique. They're over off South Congress. They're awesome. Go and visit them. Tell them that we sent you. Okay.
Use some of their product earlier this evening.
I'm seeing my mom's already in the chat. We got Spiky Mike chiming in. We got Aunt Mary Esther's in there, and we got Dylan. Dylan's already asking for biscuit pins. Yeah,
Dylan's all about the pins. He's a pinner. He's a pin kind of guy.
200 pounds of Dylan is pins when he wears his jacket.
Yeah.
I don't know.
200 pounds of Dylan is pins when he wears a hat. I mean, he's got pins on his hat the size of dinner plates.
Yeah.
They're gigantic. It's enormous.
So this show, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of
stuff to unpack.
A lot of things in the news. Most importantly, the big game on Sunday. Now, you're not a sports ball guy, are you? I mean, you're a Saints follower, but do you really go out of your way to watch football if the Saints aren't on the TV?
Not really. I'm going to watch the Super. I'll probably listen to the Super Bowl. I don't really watch football anymore. I listen to the games like I used to back in the day. I'm trying to take things old school. Yeah. because I got Sirius XM and I got all the games on there. So fuck it, I just listened to them.
Well,
I mean, Tampa's in it, man, and I hate Tampa.
There's
They
a lot
beat
of
us
them.
to get into the fucking championship game, the NFC championship.
Yeah. But y'all just weren't having the year,
Drew Brees it's time to go, man. I mean, he didn't play well. He didn't play well in that playoff game.
He let the Who Dat Nation down a little bit, but the rest of the team kind of collapsed around him. I mean, I think they were just tired. This has been an exhausting year. Can you imagine with all the
playing through COVID, man?
Yeah, and then I just realized, wasn't there supposed to be a Pro Bowl last week? What happened to that?
Yeah, I don't know that they're doing a Pro Bowl this year.
I tuned in and there was nothing, and then I realized, oh yeah,
I didn't even see who. Do you even know who got MVP? Did they even announce all the?
I believe they're announcing that tomorrow or today or something. So we're gonna know if it was Aaron Rodgers or what's his
Derrick
name?
Henry's up, isn't he?
No. Well, maybe he is, but it's probably going to be the KC quarterback, Mahomes. Yeah. I mean,
honestly, dude, how is Tom Brady not the most valuable player? Because the fucking Bucks they stunk last year, and now they're in the fucking Super Bowl.
Hey, real quick,
Brady.
Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
Oh, we need you.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle.
Yeah. What?
How's this not talking politics going?
Sports.
Jesus,
we're talking sports, and it's just killing me. I can't keep this up.
Cool. Right. I don't watch sports balls either.
Yeah.
So you do. So you do you then.
What are you gonna do? You're not gonna watch the game?
I mean, I'm gonna watch the halftime show.
Yeah.
Because the weekend is on there. So, and that dude is fucking awesome. So.
Okay. All right.
Hey man, he dropped, I think it was $7 million of his own coin into the halftime show because the NFL wasn't giving him enough dough.
Fuck. Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know if you've seen his Stephen Colbert musical appearance.
No.
That shit was badass. It was like I don't know. Anyway, that dude's cool.
I don't even know who the dude is.
Also,
I am a follower of the Weeknd.
How is the telling him not to cuss right before the show? He's on a tear.
No, I told you I was gonna curse.
Oh yeah, because your mom's gonna be
absolutely
on here. But she's not
maybe. I don't know. She's trying to figure it out.
And you look, man. I wasn't gonna bring up how terribly you treated Kyle and I before the show.
Let me tell you about it. And we may have an opportunity to revisit that because Mike might have been listening into the whole thing.
I wish we would have recorded that.
I was right when it happened. I was like, oh man.
So people could see, man, in this Me Too generation, if you guys could be behind the scenes and see how we are treated by James Preston.
Let me tell you guys, it is tough. It is tough being me. Do you know how stressful my life is? You don't.
Do you know that you are the reason for all of the stress in your life?
Yes, I realize that.
Stress is in the eye of the holder.
I recently today I took ownership of some of the stress, and I just took 2 Amazon boxes out to the courtyard and opened them up and just said they're free.
Look at the drinking word of the day: vibrator.
Free stuff. What's vibrator? Now it's not a vibrator. You got to understand this thing.
Dude, it's a vibrator, and now you have 2 of them: a metal one and a wooden one.
All right, so I collect some weird quackery, and the first one that I got was advertised as weird roller device, right? And I was like, yeah, see you later. Weird roller device, and it looked interesting, so I was like, I got to go and see what this thing is. Well, it's this tumbler. I don't have a picture of it. It's this tumbler, the cylinder that spins, but on the cylinder are multiple cylinders as well that are
what is the thing actually called? Do you know what the actual technical name of it is?
Well, this one behind me, the American-made one, is like a cellulite reduction machine, and I forget the name of the company. It's like NS, so like New Star or something, but it's from the 50s. It's got the corded, or the fabric electric cord, and so it spins, and you can straddle it so that it's like rubbing your inner thighs, or you can sit on it, and it gets your under thigh, and I guess you could front butt it if you wanted, but I don't advise it if you got dangly bits. So anyway, I got this thing, and it's amazing, and and I've always had a dream. I've got the sauna, I've got the cellulite reduction machine, and then I was going after one of those belt things that there's a and I was trying to buy one of those. Yeah, there it
That
is.
thing. That
Yeah.
thing. Whatever
Where'd
that
you
is.
find that picture?
On the fucking internet, bro.
Oh, you just Googled it. That's yeah, I've got one of those. Mine's better than that, though.
Yeah, it's better than that. It's nicer than that one.
And then the one that we got today, I just had to jump on it, and I wouldn't have bought it if the lady hadn't
let's
been
discuss
standing.
that. Let's discuss that, because I told you that you didn't need it. You have a metal one already that you've been sitting on for not literally sitting on, but you told me the only reason you bought it was because the lady behind you looked like she was interested in it and you didn't want her to have it. That was your reasoning.
I was
spending $60 on that piece of junk.
I bought it for $60 because that lady wanted it, and I wasn't going to let her have it. Mom, have you ever done that? Like you're at a thrift store and you're looking at something.
You have never done that, have you?
Oh, yes. I have a weakness for things.
Have you ever bought something just out of spite, just to not let the person behind you have it?
No.
Be honest.
Not that. Yeah.
Okay.
Not that.
Okay. I didn't think so.
Oh, Kyle, did I tell you I'd like to play the
I'm the kind of person who looks behind me in a line at the grocery store, and if somebody behind me has less than what I have, I'll let them go in.
Yeah.
I said, you go ahead. You
I'm
go ahead of me.
the same way. Jimmy is not that way.
And Kyle, I uploaded a video. It's in our main folder. It's called Jimmy's Mom and Dad. Can we watch that video? Mom, you had an emotional day today. You were at the old house, and you getting all the last bits and pieces. This is a house that you bought when I was 1 year old, and you sold.
You guys closed on the sale today.
Oh no, not yet.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Congratulations.
After 45 years in a house, it was very traumatic. Yeah. Lots of good memories.
Change is good, though, right?
Actually, I was thinking about, we're getting like 3 to 6 inches of snow tonight. And I was thinking about the time when you and Laura would go out in the snow and there was no getting y'all back.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see that video, Kyle.
After the way he treated us tonight, I'd have left him in the snow. Yeah.
This is their last time locking the door.
Yeah. Oh no.
Aw.
Remember when I had those couches out there in the carport? Me and my buddies.
Oh, yes.
I had jaw surgery and I was recovering and I couldn't go very far. So there we go.
Somebody break your jaw?
Brought some. No, I had some corrective surgery
blessed the
done.
house one last time.
I saw that, Mom. They're good. They're not going to need it. That house is blessed, full of all kinds of memories, and we never talked politics in that house, did we, Mom?
Not really. No, because we didn't have the times that we have today. It was just a given that, transitions happen and you support whoever is in office.
Right.
And that's the way it was.
Well, and we won't talk politics tonight because the boys don't want us to talk about politics anymore. They told me I'm not allowed to talk politics. What do you think about that, Dad?
I did not tell you
What do you
that you were not allowed to talk politics. I told you that in the opinion of some of our viewers, they tend to tune out when you start to talk about politics. That's all.
Dad, where do you go?
Hold on, let me finish because
he's trying to get a connection to my phone. Because I only have 10% left. I didn't realize my phone was ready to die here.
Oh yeah, get that charger in there.
To hook me up.
Yeah, just slide it right in the hole. Right in the little hole there. Just slide it right
Find
in.
It.
Put a little hair around it. Make it easier to find.
Let's see if there's yeah.
That's so gross.
Why
did I say that?
We went furniture shopping recently, and they talked me into buying a table where you can hook up your devices. But I don't think it really works well. So,
do you want to name that company? You want to put them on blast?
Name the company? No, he was very sweet. The owner's the one who treated us, and he sold the furniture to us. But I don't have the right wire or something.
Yeah, you might only have USB 2. You need USB 3. But we're gonna be talking with our buddy Kevin in a little bit, Mom. And he's into technology. He's got his finger on the pulse. Do you have any tech questions, or like, are you worried about your privacy using the internet and being on social media and stuff?
Not really. Well, every now and then I get these weird little text on my phone. It says, "Oh, you're supposed to get a package and it didn't show up. So click here so we can tell you what to do about it."
Don't click there.
So I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to James and I'll say, "Is this legitimate, or are you sending me something, or is this?" He says, "Mom, delete it."
Don't
just delete it. Don't click on it.
Yeah. Well,
those Russians.
We at our auto shop, we get all kinds of scam calls all the time trying to loan us money, and I mean, it happens. Sometimes somebody can scare you into thinking that something legitimate is going on, especially when they scare you. They scare some of these seniors with the, "Hey, you're going to go to jail because your taxes weren't filed," and then next thing you know, you're sending all your money to some guy in Nigeria. Don't send any of my inheritance to Nigeria, Mom.
All right.
Well,
that's why I check with you first. I snap a picture and I send it to you.
The one day that he tells you to click, the link is because he sent you that message saying that something was wrong.
Now, Dwayne was talking about the Super Bowl earlier, and he was talking about some of the bets. Now, every year I've always asked you, and you don't know this, but I ask you who you're rooting for, and you'll tell me. And then I've put big money on your pick every year. Okay. So who are you going for this year in the Super Bowl?
I think I'm going to go with the young guy. Holmes.
Chiefs.
That is
Mahomes. Mahomes boy.
Holmes.
Okay. It's a good choice.
So
it seems to be the popular choice, although
he's
from what I'm seeing right now in nationwide betting, it looks like most people are putting their money on the Bucks to win. I think that's probably odds.
Yeah.
They're looking for that big payday.
And I forgot to tell you, Mom, every year, this started probably about 10 years ago when I moved here. I'd ask you, and I remember I only had I had a small nest egg, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just throw it all down. I put $1,000 on who you picked, and I lost. And every year since then, whenever I bet who you picked, I lost. So I'm going to bet on the Bucks tomorrow.
No.
Could we lose?
Hey,
So-
you know, a lot of people would say,
All right, but
how are you
watch
going to
my
bet against
words.
Tom Brady
You
in the
never
Super Bowl?
know.
You never know. Well, listen, I just wanted to share that moment with you moving out of the house, and congratulations on the new place, but also happy birthday, Mama. It's going to be your birthday before next week's show.
Oh, thank you.
Drinking
Yeah.
word is vibrator, by
All
the way,
right,
Mom.
yeah. Sometime this.
We
yeah, I
we
got a
losing you?
story. Well, I better not get into
Yeah,
vibrator.
I think you just teased a vibrator
Yeah,
story,
no,
and I think everybody
well,
wants to hear it, but we'll
Except
let
for
you
Jimmy.
go. Yeah. I love you, Mama. Happy birthday. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
Bye, yo.
I'll tell you a little bit about it. Years ago, when okay, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank God for that delay.
Oh, we
That
almost
was
got the
amazing.
vibrator
Yeah,
story.
we
Damn it.
almost. The delay saved me. Years ago is all we got, and then oh, there's my
She
mom.
was going to tell us what vibrators were like in like the 40s,
back in the
50s.
day. Cheers to my mom and dad.
Maybe
They're
not
in their
40s.
new place. They're selling the place that they raised me and my sister in 44 years. Only, you know, if the pandemic hadn't happened, I would have had to have gone back there and helped move out the stuff. I would have to move.
There you go. Way to look on the bright side, bro.
Bright side, I didn't have to do anything.
Right.
Anyway, talking about not doing anything.
Dude, did I tell you that I went to the zoo the other day?
No.
There was only one dog there. It was a Shih Tzu.
I knew I should be able to tell from your tone, because you just barge in with some. You're like a child that wanders into a movie with these jokes. Goodness. Hey, Mom, we'll talk to you later. You're not on the show, and I hope she's not. Is she still telling the vibrator story?
I
in the
hope
background?
so. Kyle, record that.
All
Can
right.
you record the vibrator story?
All right. Our next guest is the president of the board of EFF-Austin. I stumbled onto these folks at a conference that I went to as a journalism student at Texas State. And I gave a speech and informed all of the people, but you know, I think they were much. I didn't inform them. I went there and they could sniff me out. They were like, "This kid."
Were you
He's
spreading
doing this.
some sort of
He's doing this.
conspiracy theory?
No, I was talking about how the cops were listening in on us. You know, I was just like, they can hear us, man. And they were like, who is this guy? Anyway, but even after that encounter, this gentleman has remained my Facebook friend, and I'd like to say we're acquaintances, and even more than that, we've got like 9 degrees of separation. Robin, be quiet, because we're going to talk about politics with Kevin Welch.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, how's it going, Jimmy?
Man, we're doing all right.
I forgot about the applause. There you go.
So, right before you come on, Robin, saying "Yay, no politics," and
I saw. I like the peanut gallery. You know, we get to see the best ones or the worst, depending on how you want to view it.
Right. Now, Kevin, you are a tech dude. You know, there was a time when nerd was a negative term, but now
wait. When did that happen? I don't remember this.
Nerds are cool, bro. Where you been?
Well, I mean, like I Okay, well, I'm much older than you, but like I grew up during the age of Nerds 2, Revenge of the Nerds.
Josh, I can't ever relate to that sentiment. But I know where you're going.
I'm older than you, Jimmy, and I was a nerd.
But I mean,
Proud of
you guys, and I've delved in the tech world. I've done some programming. I've never said that I was a programmer. I knew how to do it. I knew how to follow instructions, but I mean, I don't feel like I was ever real fluent in the languages. How many languages do you code in?
Oh my God. I mean, do you mean have I ever coded in, or do I code in right now?
Well, like you could probably say, oh, well, I did DOS, I did Pascal, I've done Cobol.
You're naming ones that are a little older than I've mostly done. I've done BASIC, but
okay. All right.
And I've actually done Scheme, which is another really old one. But I mean, at this point, I've probably at least been well, it depends on also if you call a framework a programming language. Say I'm getting nerdy with it, sorry. But I probably code actively in 3 to 4 languages right now, but I've probably seen 20-ish over my life in various capacities.
For folks my age, this is not French or Dutch or Icelandic. These are computer languages.
The principles are actually kind of similar. Anybody who can learn French, I think they can learn to code.
I couldn't learn French. I was terrible at French.
I've struggled.
My French professor didn't speak any English. As a first-year French student, I feel like that's a bad fucking idea.
Yeah,
it would be helpful. Yes,
but if you paid attention during grammar, and like if you ever did like the diagramming of a sentence, with the subject, the object, the subject, the predicate, that is coding in a nutshell.
In a way, yes, it's very similar activity. Absolutely.
And then you add another layer onto it with putting a database in there, and then there's database language that you need to call on, and then
that's very it's called SQL basically. Well, there's structured query language, and there's a whole bunch of different kinds of SQL, and they're what's called a declarative programming languages, as opposed to imperative. We can get very nerdy with it if you want, but your guests may not want us to go down that rabbit hole.
We're gonna stay right on the surface. We're in the ripples here, but I'm getting us to somewhere. So like all of this stuff that you code, and you've got clients that you're building projects for or fixing existing projects. This all can also equate to all of the things that we use every day on our phones, and the apps and how they integrate to each other. And then what is the concern at EFF-Austin of these tools that we use every day, and what is it that you guys are like the watchdogs of, as we just blindly pick these up and keep using them?
Well, I think you alluded to it a bit with your going on about being the paranoid rambler of the cops are spying on us, dude. Yeah, no, actually, I met this joker, Jimmy, a number of years ago, because he came and spoke at the meetup and was talking about this was kind of in the social media had been around for quite a while, but this was kind of the early days of people really being aware that you were being watched on social media.
Right.
Specifically, Jimmy was talking to us about APD, was known to be surveilling local activists on Facebook and other things. Of course, it all seems very cute and quaint given what we know now, but we were just all starting to become cognizant of that. But, I mean, to your point, a lot of what we try to do, so as you correctly identified, software is in everything we do. It's in our phones. It mediates our lives at this point. And a lot of that software doesn't always have your best interests in mind. A lot of it's spying on you, stealing confidential data about you. You may have heard the quip that data is the new oil, but a lot of the digital economy is powered by these data profiles on all of us. And it really is kind of the Wild West as far as regulations, because even where regulations exist directly on what like an app maker can or can't collect on you. And even when you have phone vendors like Apple or Google will set their own policies about what apps can collect on you. There is a whole industry of third-party data brokers that is pretty much entirely unregulated. And once these guys get data on you, they basically build these giant dossiers of pretty much everybody in the country and just every random bit of data on them they can find, and they sell them to anybody who's interested, basically. And, you know, you may be the most tinfoil hat paranoid type. I can promise you they got a file on you, and it probably contains a lot of shit you'd be shocked is in the file on you. And it's available to anybody who wants to pay money for it.
So, you know, now who's looking for this dossier? Now it could be just a donut shop that contracts with an advertising company and says, I want to find fat boys like Jimmy that do nothing on Saturday but look on DoorDash. Like, I make at least 5 or 6 menu choices, and then I'll be like, nah. And then I'll go to another restaurant and I'll be like, do you want to delete your other one? I'm like, yes, I want to delete that one. And I'll make another one. Like, they want me because they're going to get a $30, $40 order out of me. This donut shop, right? So
yeah, not every, you know, not every instance of this is sinister or creepy or Orwellian. Some of it's just rather banal, given your example. So
I would imagine that very few instances of it are actually in the whole gamut of instances. Very few of them are sinister.
I mean, you know, often not directly, you know. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of people are just trying to, you know, get paid and run their business or make money or find customers. Or absolutely, you know, there's plenty of stuff where it doesn't really necessarily get sinister. But, you know, there's other times where there can be some harms, both to the individual and to society, though oftentimes those harms aren't it's hard to connect cause and effect because it's hard to connect where the data originally came from to where it eventually ends up. So it's one reason why it can be hard to get people to be aware there's a problem because, you know, you don't often see the harms directly. and I gotta say the Facebook, that I can't argue with that, Jimmy. That's a decent point.
Well, so one thing that really troubled me, like everybody started getting into the emoji thing on text message. And I kept getting, I was dating, you know, somebody at the time that was every time I'd send something, they'd send back crazy. An emoji. And I felt this like, oh, I feel like I'm not responding with the same enthusiasm because I don't have a little tiny me going, yay, you know, you got home from work, you know.
You're talking about Bitmojis, bro, not regular emojis. You're talking about a Bitmoji.
Oh, well, Bitmoji. I mean, not to tinfoil hat. Sorry, Jimmy.
My question is, Kevin, I downloaded that and I read the user agreement. They basically ask to read all of your text, all of your keystrokes, and anything that is texted to you. Where's that go?
I mean, it can go to similar places of, you know, selling all that information to these third-party data brokers because there's a lot of a lot of the internet's economy runs on this idea that if we have enough data on the consumer, we can predict everything about them, know what they want, and in theory, you know, the way they try to sell it as the perfect match between what a company's selling and what somebody wants. But as I'm sure we all
agree with them 100%. It makes shit so much more convenient, man.
But as
I'm talking to someone about whatever it may be, I could just be talking to someone about it, and then I go on the internet, and there's a fucking ad for it right there. I could buy it.
Yeah.
It's so convenient.
You know that.
I don't understand why everybody's against it.
Well, I mean, so first of all, you know, I often like to push back on, you know, that the efficacy of this is to be seen. I'm sure we've all seen the joke of like that, you know, you start seeing ads for something, right after you bought it and won't actually need it. You know, it's like, oh, I just bought a bed. Now I'm seeing ads for beds. I'm not going to buy a bed for 10 years. Well done. And so, you know, they've actually done studies where it's like somebody like Facebook commands ad premiums, and their whole empire is propped up by this idea that they know the consumer better than anyone. But they've actually done studies where the targeted advertising Facebook offers versus just non-targeted advertising, at most, and even sometimes it's within the margin of error, at most increases sales by 4%. But the amount they're charging advertisers is a lot more than a 4% bump, because it's predicated on this almost sort of myth that they have supernatural powers about how well they know people. So we're all giving up a lot of privacy, and it's not money well spent. We're all giving up a lot of privacy, and we're not even getting very much out of it. Even if you want to argue, well, it's to make it more convenient and at least we get ads for what we want. Not a lot of evidence it actually is very effective.
Kevin, I used to be smarter about this stuff. When I don't know if it's just now I'm older and the convenience wins over. And I understand what Dwayne's talking about. Like when I type in FFO and it goes Funyuns, you know, I'm like, yes, that's what I wanted. Give me the Funyuns, you know. It'd be FU. Yeah, Funyuns. Okay. But also all of my apps connecting. Just recently, I went through an ISO or an OSI. What is it? An OS update on my phone.
Yes.
And then now, all of a sudden, every one of my apps, I guess I just upgraded to a new privacy level, because now it asks if I want to just give access to my entire photo library, which I didn't realize until just now, as I'm now giving new permissions to these apps. All of my photos were shared. Like every single photo, Mark Zuckerberg knows what was on my phone up until a couple weeks ago. Like every single photo.
You obviously have some photos to worry about saved on your phone.
Well,
some screenshots.
I mean, you know, yes. And I mean, that is one good thing that some of the OS makers like Apple have done, where a lot of these apps requesting stuff on your phone used to just silently happen and you didn't even know it was doing that or wanted to do that. And to their credit, Apple has put in stuff now where at least you know what's happening. Because, you know, a lot of times, to me, it's about being able to know what's happening and consent. Like, you know, if you're like, look, I don't really care that these megacorps know these things about me, I just want to get better ads. Well, that's your right. I'm not going to tell you can't do that, but I sure as hell think you should know you're making that trade, you know, and the consent to it.
Honestly, in this day and age, though, don't you know? Like,
I mean,
everybody's talking.
You'd think, and yeah, I think people know a lot more than they did, and I think that's why the OS makers have put these things in place, because more people have demanded it as awareness has increased. Absolutely.
Now, so with recent events, and I'm not going to get political with this question, but with the events that happened at the Capitol, there's now a group of folks that like the FBI very quickly was able to go after these people. Part of it was from the Parler hack, and the fact that when they signed up for Parler, they gave their driver's license and everything, so everybody knew exactly where to get them if the facial recognition matched up. And then now we're looking, it looks like they're talking about some sort of legislation to go after white extremism, which we can all agree, white extremism, not a good thing. But I remember the Patriot Act. What are your worries about what they're talking about, and what are they talking about?
Well, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. You know, for the record, just so you know, so I'll lay my cards on the table and your viewers stand. Yeah, you know, Am I allowed to get French on this broadcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you not listened to Dwayne?
I figured, but yeah, fuck white supremacists. They're terrible people, and
French as you
they should
want.
feel really bad. They're terrible people. Yeah. So the first thing I'd say is we have to ask when like we're seeing new laws proposed. Well, the first question asked is, well, why is this necessary? Because these people didn't hide what they were planning to do. They'd been admitting publicly in plain sight on Parler and Twitter for weeks before the Capitol raid exactly what they were planning to do and how they were going to make the law. And so you have to ask, well, why do we need new laws to prevent this from happening again? It more sounds like the people who were supposed to catch people like this weren't doing their jobs very well to start.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you saw it on social media for weeks prior, not to mention these dipshits live streamed an insurrection, basically.
Yes,
you're all
did.
there on video.
Everyone to see. Say what you want about Antifa. At least they know to wear a dang mask. I mean, yeah, they made no attempt to hide who they were and what they were doing. It was very easy to track them all down. So yeah, if I'm going to see legislation, I'm going to be like, well, what is it here to solve that we didn't already have the ability to figure out? I mean, I'm like, if you're telling me, oh, well, now we need encryption backdoors in our secure encryption so we can catch people like this. I'm like, you could have caught them because they weren't even hiding. So why do you want to compromise all our privacy and put us in danger of like cyber criminals being able to get into our bank transactions or our private messages just because, I'm skeptical of if that's the real reason the legislation is being pushed when it wouldn't actually have been needed to stop this if the people in charge had done their jobs properly.
How much more access are they looking for with this legislation?
I mean,
like they've already got a shit ton of access.
I know they do. And I mean, I've heard different proposals. I have not heard anything about like that Congress is zeroed in on any specific solutions. That being said, there's a lot of interesting issues that have gotten raised by the whole incident. Like, we all saw that the internet basically decided Parler will not exist, and they got kicked out of the app stores. AWS, that's Amazon Web Services, kicked them off their platform. They basically got kicked off the internet because all the vendors said we don't want to work with you.
And it's not it's not a First Amendment issue. It's a I don't want to be associated with your business, and you've got I mean, there are plenty of porn sites that have been kicked off of server farms, and they get a letter and it's like, you've got 24 hours to move your stuff, and it's not hard. You've done it. You've moved from one stack to another.
Well, yes and no. I mean, on the one hand, you're absolutely right. Like, one of my favorite things that came out in the wake of the Parler bans was the founder of Pirate Bay came out and said the fact they can't keep themselves online is pathetic. I get kicked off dozens of people, and I literally like started hiding my own private server farms like under the ocean in like hidden bunkers under water. Like, that's what I did to stay online. So that they can't stay online, pathetic.
Pirate Bay still a thing?
Well, the founder is, though he works in other stuff now. I think he did his time long ago and is doing other things. So on the one hand, yes, let's make clear. It's not a First Amendment issue because we're not talking about the government here. Parler can get kicked off. These people don't have to do business with them if they don't want to. Also, nothing to do with Section 230, whatever conservatives want to say. That just means if I run a website, can't get sued if one of my users breaks the law in some way, which is the only way an internet where users upload and share content can function. It has to be that way. So, yeah, conservative legal arguments about this are silly. The thing, though, that I worry about is like, fine, it's not a First Amendment violation, but there is some interesting freedom of expression censorship concerns here. I mean, I don't like Parler, and I'm not crying for them very much, but I am worried about an internet where it only takes a couple companies deciding they don't want me on the internet and I'm not on the internet. That concentration of power concerns me because it may be happening to people you hate today, but corporations they're gonna protect their bottom line, and someday
it could be the Pokemons of tomorrow. And then we saw it just this past week, and the week before with Robinhood.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so
that a lot of
so what you're saying is that more non-left-wing people should get into tech so they could kind of have their own shit.
I mean, I just am concerned in general that there's a few companies who are not subject to little things like the First Amendment or the public good who have this much power over our lives. I mean, Robinhood's an apt example. Like, people literally had their money stolen from them with little to no recourse because the app said so. I mean, there's regulations around like banks where what they can and can't do to your money, and they can get sued out the wazoo with class action if they try to pull shit like what Robinhood pulled. So
I got the email from them, and it was the big apology, and it was like, now listen, you got to understand, we had such high traffic that we needed to have a certain amount of money, in a cash, to cover said bets, because they're basically like a bougie retail stock trade thing. They're like selling shit with like a 5% uptick or a retail price on it because they're not actually buying it. Are they buying it like behind the scenes a little later than people are actually buying it? What's going on with that, Kevin? Do you know?
I mean, I'm not an expert in finance, and I compared to the ringleaders at Wall Street's bets, I don't know a ton about everything that happened there. But I mean, basically what happened was that some of the people at Wall Street bets basically, there's some great explainers out on the internet. I recommend people look into them. But basically, a lot of stock trading these days is done via what's called high-frequency trading algorithms, which are basically fast, advanced computer programs that are making trades literally in milliseconds or even microseconds. Like, they're doing it way faster than humans can trade, according to some algorithm. A lot of what happened with Wall Street's bets is the users basically figured out a way to exploit the sort of high frequency trading clearinghouse that groups like Robinhood or Melvin Capital are using behind the scenes. They basically figured out a way that was completely legal to game the game that was rigged for the hedge funds to always win. They basically figured out a way to beat the casino at its own game, and now the wrong people are rigging the stock market.
Right.
Because
now the mob's got to step in and stop it.
As I jumped in on it, I was at a position
Just
where
say what it is. Call it what it is. You jumped on the bandwagon.
I jumped on. Well, I knew about it because I was in Wall Street bets, and I knew.
I was a member of the subreddit too. I never really did anything they suggested. I just thought it was hilarious, that they're just going for broke on these crazy trades. It was just funny to watch.
And I jumped in, after, it was at $6 the day before. And then all of a sudden it was at 180. And I was like, oh my God, I missed it. I went back to sleep, woke up. It was at 70. And I put it in order. And I said, if it goes down to 69, just because it's a funny number, I'll buy 5 shares. It did go down to 69. And then so I wrote it. I wrote it up to 400, 480 or something like that. And then I wrote it all the way back down.
So you hold her.
I hold her. Yeah, I did. And I hold her. Well, and then I even bought more because I was just not I was uneasy.
You could have cashed it out. You could have cashed it out and put that on the over for the national anthem at the Super Bowl, because my sources tell me that it's going to be an over this year.
I guess to steer it back to like why I'm supposed to be here and tell your guests interesting things. Yeah. And so we're seeing that, like, once again, this move away from like an open, decentralized internet into these walled garden apps, like with something like Robinhood, it's like you literally have people not in control of their own money. It's they only have their money as long as the platform says they have their money, which is
and
a
I
very
think
concerning place to get. And
that was real scary for a lot of people. And then like also,
isn't that a problem for any kind of digital money though?
Well, yes and no. I mean, people are trying to figure out digital money forms that, are less controlled by one org or institution. It's ostensibly the idea behind certain cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and decentralized money. And actually, though, they want control over that as well. Something that's not been getting a lot of press, but it's very interesting, is there is a little known department of the Treasury Department called FinCEN, actually. And what they've been proposing is, now they had a public comment period out. Maybe they'll change their tune. But so currently, if you're buying like things like Bitcoin on its blockchain, that's, it's not as anonymous as some people believe, because it's a permanent record of all the transactions, but it can be anonymous as long as you don't tie your wallet to your identity. But what the FinCEN regulations were proposing was essentially making it where it would be required that all cryptocurrency that basically the government has direct access to all cryptocurrency financial transactions, and they don't need a warrant to see this information. So anything you bought with crypto or anybody you gave crypto, they just can know at any time. Imagine if the government could see your bank account's debit statement anytime they wanted, no warrant. This is what they're trying to do with crypto.
Don't you wish that on me, Kevin? There's been a couple of OnlyFans accounts I've contributed to. I'm not proud of it, but I felt like I was doing my part.
You're supporting entrepreneurs,
Yes, that's right. They're my friends or my friends' girlfriends, and I've got to support them.
I mean, look, everybody can get something out of it, but I mean, look, this is America. If they want to, they're running a business. Let's not make it not respectable. It should be more
capitalism at its finest, right?
I mean, so they tell me, but people get weirdly hung up around certain topics.
So, Kevin,
feels like you make the most money in sex anyway.
Do you feel EFF-Austin.org, and then I welcome everybody, and I want everybody to follow the page on Facebook. Which
we also have a pretty good Facebook group if you go to the page there.
And that's what I want people to. I want them to go feel out EFF Austin, and it's facebook.com/EFF.Austin. And then the group is, and you always put some really cool articles up there that make me think, and that's why I reached out to you months ago, but you're such a busy dude. With weenus, I guess you guys were
not right now, dude. Not right now. Okay. I only got my my other band project. Keyhole is the only thing I'm doing, and that's all virtual live streams right now.
Dude, I love Keyhole. It's so dissonant. It's like jazzy computer rock.
Did you tune into that?
I did. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So I love it, and Todd Main.
Oh, Todd Main. He's a mensch, Todd. I love Todd.
I need to get him on the show, but he only communicates through email, and I always make the mistake of messaging him through Facebook Messenger. But when you talk to him again, I
can tell him Jimmy wants you on. No, he's a very interesting artist. A lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Please don't email him from our show email address. Please don't do it.
Yeah, our email is, if you ever want to send, it's
the.least.we.could.do.show@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I guess just, I'll also let people know that obviously, EFF Austin, we're basically a virtual shop these days, but we traditionally, and this is, as I said, how we got to know Jimmy, but we usually do monthly meetups on a variety of interesting topics. They're all in Zoom land right now, but we're continuing to have people talking about a number of interesting digital celebrities topics.
You've got one coming up too, right?
This Tuesday at 7 p.m. If you go to EFF Austin on Facebook, you can find the events with the information. But we're going to have local activist and a former member of our board, Kathy Mitchell, on, going to be talking about police reform related stuff where it comes to the intersection of this with tech issues. Yeah, there you go. And then I'm still figuring out the details, but I think for March, we're going to have our friend Owen McNally is going to be talking about cybersecurity related to health medical data. So, yeah, we keep getting interesting guests. And I'll just say also,
you know, and this is the thing. I love the fact that a group like EFF Austin is paying attention to these issues. Because look, I got a lot of other crap that I'm always worried about, but then I get
vibrators.
Brought, I mean, y'all bring me the news, like, hey, you need to be worried about this, and with healthcare reform, everybody's scared about getting their stuff all out there. But I mean, we need the information. You know, like Big Blue could probably solve.
You know what I want? I want my $2,000.
All of our problems.
That's what I want.
Right.
Do
you trust Big Blue?
I mean, you know, I probably just say that, you know, the key thing, you know, when I think about like what we're about, it's just the thing is we are not Luddites, but we're also not tech evangelists. Like all of us love tech and technology and the future. And, you know, we love this electronic frontier. We love the immense potential of the internet. We love it's a place that lets you guys do this show. Like this is the dream. But, you know,
love that too.
But, you know, we want this tech to serve people and enrich their lives. We want the tech to serve people, not people to serve the tech and the few people who own the tech. So a lot of it's just about making sure our laws and our education keep up with this stuff because it moves so quick. Like I can't keep up with it, and I follow it religiously. It's a lot.
Well, thank you for keeping
there's
your
a certain
finger on the pulse. Go ahead, Dwayne.
I feel like there's a certain cutoff. Like if you didn't have internet by a certain age, you need to die off because you'll never learn how it works.
Oh, you want death camps now? Are you calling for death camps? That's what they were scared of.
Not necessarily death camps or anything, but how about we just don't give those people the vaccine? Let's do that.
Or, you know, I hear we could just upload their brain to the cloud, you know, kill two birds with one stone.
Oh man.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait. I'll do that. And then when robots get real good, we could just download me back into a robot.
Yeah, you know, get a robot body.
A sexy robot.
I mean, 100%.
Although, Jimmy, I gotta say, you gotta be careful about which vibrator you're using because you don't want a hacker hacking that vibrator.
This because it's wooden. It's a wooden vibrator.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah. He's future-proofing himself.
I got lo-fi vibrators here. They're not vibrators. They're cellulite reduction machines that actually just can provide pleasure if you ride them in the right way.
He's also going to need some kind of pleasure if you ride it in the right way.
He's going to need some kind of electrical conversion to be able to use it in the U.S. because it's a European wooden vibrator.
Yeah, it's imported 240.
Only the finest for this discerning gentleman.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure,
such
Jimmy.
a good time to see you and good chat with you. And I can't wait to see you in person at the Capitol Factory at an EFF Austin meeting. And
well, I'm sure we'll have a big in-person shindig whenever it's safe, and you certainly are invited, Jimmy. And you know, whatever other friends you have in the journalism or podcast world, tell them they're ever in need of a guest. They're always welcome to hit us up. We got a board of 9 interesting people and a bunch of friends who can talk your ear off on all sorts of fun stuff.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Glad to know that Jimmy's invited to the next in-person meetup.
You're invited too. Everyone's invited.
Okay.
Even Kyle. All right. Thank you, Kevin. You take care, bud.
Thanks, Kevin.
A lot of fun. Thanks for having me on.
Kevin
Bye-bye.
Welch of EFF Austin. Oh my goodness. See, we danced around the politics. I mean, sometimes tech is politics.
Oh, okay. Sometimes. Okay. Hi, Kyle. We danced around the politics. How do you feel? How do you feel about our dancing around the politics?
All right, let's take. At least somebody was dancing.
Right. Let's take a quick break. These are some old videos. If you've seen them before, watch them again. It's the least we could do. Thank you to everybody that's been watching. Thank you for everybody that's been chatting on the old chat stuff. We'll be right back in about 5 minutes on the flip side.
Newspaper on the staircase. That's not trash. That is my roommates. All the cat piss on my clothes comes with me wherever I may go. City wants my house condemned, but these bags of trash are my only friends. I can't throw these things away. All these things are my roommates. I can't throw these things away. All these things are my roommates. Pizza boxes, use up lighters, rotten floorboards from all the adult diapers. You ask me how I sleep at night, I say it is quite easy. I sleep standing up where the mice and rats can't eat me. I can't throw these things away. All these things are my roommates. I can't throw these things away. All these things are my roommates. One day you will find me crushed beneath it all. I beg of you, just leave me here in my trash Taj Mahal. I can't throw these things away. All these things are my roommates. I can't throw these things away. All this trash, it's my
We're at war with the UN race. It's a few now saints. We're coming over to your place. It's a few now saints. A few now saints. We respect your personal space. We would never get praise. A few now saints. A few now saints.
No!
And Dwayne doesn't know that we're back. But come on here, Kyle.
I have to come on because you came on too early. You didn't want to watch the rest of it?
Well, it was the whole show. It was the whole damn show. I was going to give you accidentally a whole episode of my old show. But those were some music videos from the old show that I used to have, A Few Nice Things, with my buddy Lawson, who's got a baby now and he doesn't hang out. That's what happens. That's what happens when people have babies. I'm worried about people.
Anymore.
Yeah, they just they don't need you anymore. Like they hang out with you. Don't you find that is true with some of your friends? You know, like they go into real life, they get married, they still hang out, but you're like the third wheel. But then they have a baby, and then they don't need you for a while, and then after a couple of years of that baby, they're like, okay, I need to go out and reconnect with one of my buddies. Are you the buddy for some of your married buddies? That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm just buddies with my buddies. But yeah, it's absolutely a thing where people kind of when they get together, it's called dyadic withdrawal. They get with a girl or something like that. They go off on their own.
Dyadic withdrawal,
right? That's dyad, two people. Dyadic withdrawal.
Where'd you learn this term? Where did you learn this term?
In school.
In school? In psychology?
Yeah.
Dyadic withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
Babies are ruining the world. Is that what Drew's
but yeah,
talking about?
babies are different though. Like that's you hear from so many people that your life changes completely when you have a kid, and
Well, it does,
but
and
then
it
for
should.
others, it doesn't.
Because once you have a child, all of a sudden your life is insignificant. Now your life is ultimately there to provide for this life that you brought into the world. Supposedly, in theory, that should be the thing. Now, do we have that in this country? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of people. I just talked to a buddy of mine. He's worked very hard to have kids, and
Yeah.
he was complaining about how children ruined his life. His whole way of life is ruined. He can't have fun. He's got to put a baby seat. There's a baby carrier. There's a stroller. Nothing is the same. So,
well, yeah, it's different, but it doesn't mean you don't enjoy it. And some people enjoy that.
Do you want kids, Kyle?
I'm not saying that I enjoy that. I do. I think eventually probably want kids. Yeah.
How old are you now?
36.
36. You still got time. See, I'm 45. Dr. Beard said that I need to get one of them I need to get one of them cups. Oh, no. Who was it? Somebody was telling me that you can get a little tester at home, and you just do your business in this little cup, and then you add some sort of fluid, you let it sit for a little bit, and then you swirl it around, and then you put a test strip in there, and it tells you how many swimmers you got. So, I mean, I thought about it.
Is that just an excuse to masturbate?
Do you need one? Do you need an excuse? I mean, nobody needs an excuse. But I just want I want to know, or do I want to know? Do I want to know?
No. Yes.
Do I want to know? Where's Dwayne? Did he think that we had a 20-minute break?
No, I did not.
No, there he is.
Indicate that. I don't know. Oh, look. Oh, it's Dwayne.
He's back.
He doesn't have his headphones in yet.
Not yet.
He's still muted too.
All right.
Pay attention
So
to muted mics.
Kevin Welch from EFF-Austin. I want everybody to go and join EFF.
Break over already? What the fuck, man?
Yeah, it was over early. I'm sorry. I pulled the trigger because I gave Kyle the wrong damn link. I don't know how that happened. Something's funny about
Drew's right. Babies are ruining the fucking world. It's true.
We're talking about people
they're loud,
that
they're dumb, and continually shit themselves. You are absolutely right, and it's a problem. We need to stop it.
Well, people that have babies, they go away like from your life. They'll be your best friend, and then they'll get married. Look, and they'll have
Jimmy
a baby
can't even clean his own butthole, much less someone else's butthole.
Right? You're not ready to be a father, Jimmy. Did you see what Dr. Beard said? Your life definitely changed when you're expected to clean someone else's butthole.
I have a very bad gag reflex.
I'm sorry,
Jimmy. and I will
the world's tallest librarian.
I will puke on a baby if you make me clean their poop. I mean, because it is some of the grossest poop I've seen. What children push out of their butts, like when they're eating liquid, it is liquid, and then when you give them solid food, it is a mess, and it's the worst.
They haven't created an elastic for a diaper leg yet that will hold up to the force of baby diarrhea. It just blows right out of the side of that thing like all over you, all over your hands. It's great.
I had
although I will say it was nicer having a girl the second time, because when you pull a baby boy's diaper off, that's like a fire hose. Well, I mean, that shit's going everywhere. But when you pull a baby girl's diaper off, it just kind of dribbles. You know, it doesn't.
Did your boy ever
much spray.
pee in your mouth?
Oh yeah, right in it. Right in it.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like a fountain.
We got a voicemail. We got a voicemail.
I should have told that guy that I have drinking pee before, or drank pee, or you say that in proper English.
And it was like almost from the source, like it was young pee. Like let's not get into that. Do we have a voicemail, Kyle?
Were you gonna bring up R. Kelly?
No, I was just saying, like, drinking a 90-year-old person's pee versus a 1-year-old's pee, there's probably a difference in quality. So anyway, let's just dance past that. Okay, we got a voicemail. Let's see what we got here.
Is there such thing as a high five, low five, down five, up five, left five, right five, and side five, and then other side five? Are those different kinds of high fives? Let me know.
Okay, all right.
No.
So
No, they're not.
did you heard this
you've got
call?
You've got a high five. You've got a high five. You've got a low five.
And a low five.
Low five. Up five. It's a high five.
Up five is a high five. Low five. Down five. Low
That's
five.
a low five. You're just being redundant. There's no
what about
side
right
fives.
No right five.
No left.
No left
no
five.
Port. No starboard. No.
What about when you're like at the end of a soccer game and you all line up and the other team walks by and you're doing the hand slap? What is that called? Is that just a hand slap?
Just like high fives. It's like a high five daisy chain.
Oh, okay. Okay. So as long as the hand is above the elbow, it's a high five. So it could be, you could still think it's a left five, but it's just a high five.
You could almost be parallel. You could call that high, I would imagine.
Okay.
I don't agree on the side five, Jeff. I think you're wrong here. I think side five is not a thing. Sorry.
It's a high five.
I'm calling a no on side five.
High five, low
high
five.
Low five.
Well, but I remember doing a thing. It was like, give me a
up
high five, low five.
Down low, too slow, fuck you.
No, in the hole. You do the up high, down low.
Too slow.
Too slow, in the hole.
Fuck you. Oh, I don't know.
And then
we do it different in Louisiana. I don't know.
You did fuck you was the end of your. I mean,
I did.
Even at, like,
that was the end of mine.
I mean, you teach that to 5-year-olds.
It was the end of almost every sentence that I uttered from like 16 to 27. The end of every sentence was "fuck you."
I don't know why, but I just constantly want to sing that one song. Like, wish you would get off of that ledge, my friend. I want to sing that to you all the time. Whenever you
I want to sing that to you. I want to sing that to you. I was afraid you were going to jump off your balcony today.
Today was very close to jumping off a balcony. I was triggered, man.
I said that I was going to ask you. I don't understand. Okay, but I said I was going to ask you. Are you able to put your Murphy bed down right now?
No.
Okay.
No. But I could. There's 2 boxes. There's 2 boxes still there that could just be moved over to the side. And
okay,
what do I
hold on.
My life has been taken over by these goddamn Amazon boxes.
Listen. Let's talk real for a minute here. When I was at your house earlier today,
which I'm so embarrassed that you had to come in
boxes.
Here.
There were 6 boxes, but now there's 2.
Yeah, I got rid of 4.
2. You got rid of 4. I'm proud of you, buddy. I am proud of you.
4 of them are gone. Now 1 is on the porch. And it's
you got 4 of them gone, and you got your Apple TV working.
No, it does not work.
Oh fuck!
It does not work.
Well, there you go. I just triggered you again.
Apple TV's dead. Well, yeah, because the Apple TV, we've got a projector. We were going to watch the Super Bowl socially distant.
That'll make us both feel better.
I bought $125 brisket for tomorrow, and I realized I don't have any friends
You're not
to
even
invite
seeing
over.
anyone.
Why would somebody?
You could have invited me.
I live
while I was
in
at
a
your house.
500 square foot apartment by myself. I'm not dating anybody. It's been a
You got that
pandemic for a
beautiful
year.
courtyard though. With
Somebody
the organ.
somebody offered. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna be cooking up some brisket. Who wants some brisket?" And you know what? Let me tell you this. This
Wait.
fella, do you know?
Hold on.
Yeah. Do you
You're
know
just
Eric?
buying some brisket?
Yeah.
You didn't buy
you
like
know-
a whole raw brisket that you have to smoke at home yourself. You're just buying some brisket that some dude smoked?
This guy, do you know Eric Navarre?
No.
I don't either.
Did I?
I don't know, but we're friends on Facebook, and he put a post. He was like, "Hey everybody, I'm thinking about smoking some briskets for the Super Bowl. Who's in?" And then I thumbs upped it, and then he says, "I'm gonna make a group. I'm gonna make a group so anybody that's interested in some brisket can just join this group." And so I joined the group, and then he was like,
he's a mutual
"Okay,
friend.
there's a Saturday brisket pickup or Sunday brisket pickup. Tell me which one you want." And I was the first one to say Sunday pickup. So I'm picking up a 12 to 15 pound brisket tomorrow that I paid $125 for. Eric and I know each other through Facebook. Now this is the wonder of technology. He said, "I want to cook some briskets." I said, "I want to buy one of your briskets, bro." And I invited him on the show tonight.
You're buying $125 brisket from this dude?
A 12 to 15 pound brisket. That comes out to less than $10 a pound. And that's
couldn't even guarantee you a poundage?
No, because he went and bought
Like, can you
30
pick the one you want when you get there?
Maybe if I get there early. I imagine he'd be like, "Hey, go pick your brisket." But I don't even know how to pick up this brisket. Like it might. Do you just go with a laundry basket and like a towel and then like cover it up and smother it and then bring it home? I guess I need a cooler or something.
Put it in
and put this brisket.
You don't
I
have a
don't know
cooler?
what. I don't know. This is how affected I am by the fact that this is supposedly a sports holiday tomorrow. It's the Super Bowl. I've normally done something every year for the Super Bowl. I've gone to somebody's house. And Austin
Austin
is
says the Chiefs.
a Chiefs.
The Chefs.
Go Chefs. Did he misspell
Chefs.
Chiefs?
I think so. Or he's pulling for the Chefs. Maybe he's pulling for the guy that you're getting the brisket from. Oh, there you go. Resell that brisket on the street, bro.
I mean, I plan on bringing that over here to the courtyard. The problem is we were supposed to have a projector
the rats
running. Don't get me started on the rats. We were going to have this projector running off of my Apple TV, but my Apple TV no longer works. It just kaput. Done.
Fucked,
Nada. So
your whole Super Bowl, you're gonna be eating a brisket by yourself in tears, naked in your steam closet,
and
with
just
no
brisket.
way of knowing who's even winning the Super Bowl.
Like anytime you've
No
gone to a
side,
store,
no coleslaw, no cream
onion,
corn,
no pickle,
nothing, no pickles, no bread, not even any bread.
No, I've got to
Just
pick
a
it up.
dry ass brisket from some dude you don't know on Facebook.
I got to pick
How
it
do you
up.
even know this
over
dude
it
can
up.
smoke brisket?
I've seen that. I saw his stories. He's been.
I'm looking at it.
I watched the whole process. Look at his story. Yeah, he's got some brisket.
No, I'm looking at a picture, and that brisket looks dry.
He said he took some of Saturday's briskets off, and they were jiggling like jelly.
It does not look like no M-word brisket.
Don't you talk smack, because he's coming on the show next week and we're going to talk about this brisket. Okay.
Is he?
I'm telling you, you are welcome to come down and get some brisket. You think your wife is going to let you out of the house to come and COVID mingle to come get some meat in your mouth? I doubt it. I mean, she's always used to you asking, can I go get some meat in my mouth?
Do you know what
honey,
she said when I got
back.
back from your? Do you know what she said to me when I got back from your place today?
Did you guys wear masks?
Mm-mm. She said, "Jimmy let you hang out with him."
What?
That's what she said.
Did you feel okay? Now I feel bad because I kind of kicked you out.
I know,
but I couldn't have you. I don't know why I could have Kyle here to see my mess, but you being here, I don't think we need teeth to eat that beef tomorrow. But I mean,
did you see this one?
I expect some brisket when I come to rest. I don't get the brisket until noon, so you're coming. Oh, you got to come after noon then, I guess. Here come the meat sweats. I need beer.
Kyle, do you see that comment from Austin with the YouTube link in it? Nod your head if you see it. Can you grab that clip and let's take a look at it? Look at that production at work. Austin sent us a clip. If you guys want to, you could probably see it in the comments if you're watching, if you want to check it out. But wait till after the fucking show to do it.
Okay,
you bastard.
Let's watch this clip. And then we've got a guest on deck. And then Kyle always likes to end on time. So what do we got? What do we got, Kyle? Let's see this video.
No, my ball sweat. Not that ball.
Hey, that's great. But who are the chefs?
Who are the chefs?
Not going
All right, kill it before they show the actual clients, and then we get banned. I see what you're saying, Austin. Listen, Austin, go Chiefs. Did they win last year? Did the Chiefs win last year? Who won last year? I have no idea.
I think so. I think the Chiefs
so
won last year.
two in a row. Let's hope that he
Dude, I'm telling you, I hate him, but don't bet against Tom Brady.
No. I mean, they won last year. I hope you guys win this year. I'm
giving us the wrap up the football talk sign.
Just so happy that the Bills aren't there to lose to Tom Brady, because that would have been just the death nail for the town of Buffalo. But look, let me. Well, Buffalo's a sad town. But you know what's not a sad town? Austin, Texas, because we got a group of because look, I believe in the future of this town, man. We've got some up and comers, some folks that are mingling with the right people and working with the right groups. But I'm not talking about the children. I'm talking about our next guest, Mike Hidalgo, and I've rubbed elbows with this fella for a couple years now, and I've had the opportunity to hear him jam in different vehicles, and it's been amazing. But also, I've had the opportunity to rub elbows with him at a couple different not pseudo political events. And it's because he cares about this town and the future of it, and so I think.
But you said you've rubbed elbows with him, right?
Like it's like a metaphor. I don't think we ever
you put your weenuses together, right? You put your.
We didn't touch
together?
weenuses. No, we didn't. Let's bring to the show our next guest, our musical guest of the night, Mr. Mike Hidalgo.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? How you doing? Thanks for having me on. It's great to be on, and I figured that me sitting in my garage was the least I could do for setting up. But yeah, I'm grateful to be here, and I'm excited to play some music.
We've had some guests that have been doing a lot of live streams and stuff. You during this last year, what have you been doing musically to keep yourself sane because I know that you haven't been out and about and playing, as much as you had in the past. What's going on with you?
For sure. So when we went into lockdown in March, so I haven't played a gig since March, since we went into lockdown. And, my wife has a couple chronic illnesses, so I have to be extra careful. And really, there's no gig that is worth bringing COVID home. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
not a price I'm willing to pay. And luckily enough, I'm grateful. I mean, as crappy as it's been not to be able to play gigs, I'm grateful that both of us have been able to work from home. So, it sucks on one hand that, I've been able to do this thing that I really love to do. Cause up until March 2020, I've been playing gigs for like 10 years straight, like it'd been like, go, 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 go. And then COVID put kind of like a stop to that. And then it was kind of like, okay, I got to figure out what I, need to do. And so I, basically really been focusing on drumming and like getting better at my craft. And because I'm primarily a drummer, I'm a singer songwriter, but I guess.
Is that what you call yourself a drummer, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing that I've done the most during the pandemic. I learned something about myself, I've drummed almost every day, and I've felt I've progressed in that way. So it's like okay, this one door gets shut. I can't stop. I got to keep going, and so I've been really trying to focus on getting better at drumming and deep diving into that. And it's been it's been a journey, and it's been a long year, man. Like my last solo guitar gig was January 2020, and my last drumming gig was for Sydney Wright at the airport in March. And and so it's been a while, man. But like I said, at the same time, I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity to work from home, and we can kind of just like me and my wife kind of hunker down and do what we need to do to be safe, and I can do what I need to do to protect her. So
because I've seen you in a lot of variations of Mike Hidalgo. I've seen you as a singer, I've seen you as a guitarist, I've seen you as a drummer or just a percussionist, and I don't know why I said or just a percussionist. But drummer, you imagine behind a set of drums, and then percussionist is sometimes it's got to be a little bit softer. You do a djembe or some bongos or something. Who was it that you were on the show with, by the way?
For my last band, or that I was.
Remember my show, Lost in Sound Lounge. You came on with...
Nick's house band, and I think it was. I believe it. Well, I came on with two different people. I came on with Nick's house band and Daisy O'Connor.
Daisy O'Connor. That's who I was trying to remember her name. Yeah, that was your first time on the show. And I think that might have been when we met. And then we met at a Democratic convention thing, because I was there for our president of our group, the Second Chance Democrats, was getting awarded for our work with Fair Chance Hiring, and you were there, and that was when I was like, "Oh, you give a shit about this stuff?" And you were like,
yeah. I mean, it's when politics dictates the course of humanity, right? And if you don't mess with politics eventually messes with you. It's one of those kinds of like, you got to kind of pay attention to what's going on, because it's that whole saying of I first heard it in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but I know it's some other guy said it, but it's the only thing required for evil to triumph is for good men and women to stand aside and do nothing. And when you kind of see something going wrong, you got to do what you can to push back against it. And that's why I kind of try to pay attention to what's going on. I don't know. It's something that's always interested me ever since I was a kid, a kid or in high school, younger. Like I remember going to my 9th grade biology teacher and asking, like, why are things so bad? Like, why are things so crap? I don't know. Like, why are things the way they are, basically? And then she kind of let me in on how, she gets graded by her people, and there's all sorts of rules that, she did. I don't know. It started from there and then kind of blossomed into why are things the way they are. And,
she used that opportunity to vent her frustrations on how shitty the school board was to a student.
Yeah.
That was probably not the best idea on her part.
Yeah, this kid actually wants to listen to what I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she was one of the coolest teachers.
You grew up in Texas. Did she ask to fuck?
No, she did not.
That's a
She did
Texas
not.
teacher. That's a Texas teacher kind of thing, man. All the ones you hear about are from Texas.
Wow. Well, she didn't, but
Wish
she
I
did
had
offer
high school in Texas.
a pretty awesome like side education, and
Yeah.
you know, always answered my questions that I had about things not related to school, but like maybe related to something else, and kind of gave me a bigger impression of the world, you know. And I was always really grateful for that. It's really cool when you come across people who kind of open up the world for you a little bit, and you know, even all these years later, I still remember Mrs. Bilkey, and
Right.
she's a badass. But yeah,
yeah,
so
you
that's
always
kinda why I
remember
got
the
it.
ones that treat you like an adult. You know, they don't really treat you like a kid. They kind of tell you like it is, and
Yeah, well, yeah, she kind of respected
smoke
the
weed in
questions.
the paint room in the back.
We never went that far, but she definitely, you know, helped me out with a lot of stuff. But that's why I think I kind of got into, you know, caring about politics and stuff, and
Right.
just understanding why things the way they are. And you know, it's especially important when, you know, you have a family that has to deal with things like my wife, like I said, has a couple chronic illnesses, so we have to deal with the American healthcare system on a day-to-day basis, and it's just utter shit, and it's so bad, and it really provides all these barriers, and like, you know, so you just, I don't know, like we have to pay attention because things that happen there can directly affect our life in a very deep and personal way. You know, this is like life and death for us. So, you know, politics, I think ignoring it is
life,
a bit of a
life and death in the medical sense, but also in the financial sense. You know, like nobody should have to bankrupt themselves because of you know, their health needs. I believe. And so I mean, would you call yourself a Bernie bro?
I would definitely call myself a Bernie supporter.
Okay.
The definition applied to Bernie Bros, I guess, you know, has a negative connotation to it, but I'm definitely a Bernie supporter.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that. Is it a negative comment?
I don't know. Some people carry a negative connotation. All I know is that I support a dude who's been consistent in his belief for 40 years, man. Like that's if you can go back to the 80s and find him saying the same things he's saying now. You know, or he held a gay pride parade in the mid 80s at like the height of the AIDS epidemic, when it was more accepted, I guess, to be not accepting of that kind of stuff back then, you know. And it's kind of like
accepted to be afraid of him at that time, you know.
Yeah, you know, and so he had I think it took like an entire generation of people to grow up for America to even catch up to where he was at. And you know, and I am definitely for somebody who always seems to have the back of the working class. Like there's this gif of Bernie giving an interview, and then you have this guy pushing a big delivery cart full of boxes. A GIF. Did I say it wrong? I may have said it wrong. But he was pushing a big. He was a delivery dude, you know, just working blue collar job, and he patted Bernie on the back. I'm like, when's the last time you saw somebody working blue collar pat a politician on the back giving an interview? You know, that's
right.
I don't know. That kind of said it all for me.
But
anyway,
yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun seeing all those memes of him sitting with his mittens.
Yeah.
And I mean, because he just seems like a normal dude, and I think that maybe that was one of the things
Someone
that
called him out. Someone called him out for his privilege for sitting with such an expensive jacket and handmade mittens on Twitter. It was fucking hilarious, dude.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, his recycled sweater mittens.
Yeah. Well,
But
didn't you raise like $2 million for charity? Like she made like another 4 or 5 more, and you raised $2 million and gave it all to Meals on Wheels.
Yeah,
I think.
and then that mitten lady is her life is changed. Like whatever she wanted to do for the rest of her life, it's over for the next 2 years, because she's gonna be fulfilling mitten orders. But so what are you focused on? What are you focused on now? Like here in town, what is something that everybody else can can put their energy towards? I mean,
Well,
what
I
do we
mean,
need to pay attention
I've been, listening to a lot of different artists around town, like Jackie Benson. There's a bunch of amazing local Austin artists that I check out and listen to. I still listen to Daisy. She released a new single. A friend, Aubrey Hayes. Another dude named Mars Wright. He's in a band called The Honey Sun. There's so many different art. Like another friend of mine from Austin. She started a band here. She's not here anymore, but she goes by E.T. Julia, and she's got a new Fire album out. I've just kind of been trying to absorb and play what other people are putting out, because at the moment, with COVID and everything, I've had to put things on hold for the time being, and I want to make sure that I don't bring anything home. I don't know if that's going too far or whatever, but I've not gone anywhere.
One of my buddies just the other day, just right. He lives over off of the east side, and he's been working from home, and him and his girlfriend, they live in the same house, and they've been doing all the things, staying home. And he woke up just a couple days ago, couldn't smell, couldn't taste anything. And
Whoa.
He went to the doctor and he got it. And he was like, "Doc, how did I get it? I've been doing everything." He's like, the only thing they've been doing is going to the grocery store. And
Gotcha.
and something happened, or and you can drive. I remember at the beginning, I was driving myself crazy with the hand sanitizer, or the oh my God, I picked my nose. What was the last thing I touched an ATM, but even worried about what I did to myself, fingers in my mouth. I'm just chronically putting my fingers in my mouth. And
we went for months filling the sink with bleach and water and wiping down the groceries when they got here. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a scary kind of thing too, and I'm more scared for bringing it home. You know what I mean? And passing it on to my wife, and personally, with all the things you're saying, that would be going through my head as I'm playing a gig. And how do I play a gig and really get into it and have a good time so that people can have a good time? Right. Those are the things I'm worried about, So there's this whole psychological aspect of playing live that might, be there now for me. And I would just be worried about that. And I wouldn't even know if I would give a good performance because of it. So, I've put things on hold in that regard, but at the same time, like I said, I've been drumming pretty much every day and really trying to hone my craft, and hopefully there's certain opportunities that have kind of arisen that may happen in the future that people have reached out and contacted me about. But at the moment, I'm kind of just playing it safe. And,
you're an amazing drummer, but also I don't want you, I know you call yourself a drummer, but I love your voice, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
You've got a good sound, and also you look real good when you've got that hollow body, whatever guitar thing that you're playing,
guitarish
called
thing.
The guitarish, the Yamaha acoustic. Yeah. Go ahead.
Why don't you play us a song, man? What are you gonna play us?
Well, I got this cover of Folsom Prison Blues. Folsom Prison Blues was the first cover that I ever learned, and I used to play it the traditional way, I used to play it the traditional way for a long time, and then I went on tour for the first time with my friends Kimberly and Jason and One Eye Doll, and Jason taught me this picking pattern, and I would practice it every day after setting up the stage, the drums and the lights and all that stuff. And then I'd go back to the van or sit on the curb or whatever, and then I'd pick it out. And then one day I just put the words with Folsom and this pattern, and this is what came out. Well, I hear that train coming now, it's rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Now I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keep dragging on, and that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio. Well, when I was just a baby, now my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't you never play with guns. I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die, yeah. Now I hear their whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. Well, I bet they're rich folk eating on a fancy dining car. Yeah, they're probably drinking coffee now and smoking big cigars. Oh, I know I had it coming, I know I can't be free, but them people keep moving, that's what tortures me. If they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train mine, bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. One time.
Yeah, I like that. Mike Hidalgo. Mike Hidalgo. And then so you've got Mike Hidalgo.music on Facebook, but also Obsolete Machines. Are you still with Obsolete Machines?
Yes.
Doing stuff? So yeah, you're the drummer of this badass band.
Thanks.
And I love the look, like when you come out with the black face mask, all black. It's like this amazing sound that you guys have. And I'm so pissed that I missed you guys in live,
Well, but it performing with Obsolete Machines is so much fun because it's so theatrical, and Adam and Shanna are such great performers. It's being on the road and learning from One-Eyed Doll and Kimberly. She's an amazing performer, and I kind of learned that there's a whole different part of music than just playing everything perfectly.
And then sorry to interrupt you, Mike, but with One-Eyed Doll, were you playing with them, or were you just like their back of the house or their tour manager, or what were you?
So I went out with them, I think 6 or 7 times, and I did different things on different tours. The first few tours were I was roadie and drum tech, so I would carry all the gear and like set up all the stuff, and then set up the drums, and then I became the light guy, so I did light direction. We had this whole light rig, and I was LD, and it was awesome because I got to learn from different light directors around the country, and they played a festival, and I got to run like an $8,000 or $7,000 light board, those festival lights. Like I got to mess around with that for a little bit. That was pretty cool. And I just kind of learned all sorts of things about traveling in the road and the doing of it. And it was other than just the music. The music's real fun and an awesome part of it and so important, but it's like 45 minutes, an hour of the whole thing, and like the rest of it's like all this other stuff you got to know how to do. And then, just the whole psychological aspect of just being on the road for 2 months, that messes with your head after a while, and it's tough, but it really helped, I think, evolve me as a performer, because I got to watch them do their thing every night, and I was learning. I was like, okay.
Well, you also appreciate the gig where you can just walk out of your house, put the guitar or the drums in the back of your car, go to a gig, because everybody complains about it. They're like, man, I want to go on the road. Man, I want to go on the road. Once you go on the road, you're like, God, I can't wait to get home.
Yeah. 6 weeks in, you're like, oh man, is this the dream? Is this the dream? And
this is it. I mean, and then it's you go from a Prius to a van, and then you go to a bus, and then maybe you can get to an airplane, but there's still buses or 18-wheelers involved, and it still all sucks. You're in the same green room. It's just a different size, and it's the same. They didn't get the blue cheese. You wanted the blue cheese.
Well, it was a lot. I did that stuff, but I also drummed on the last few tours. They did this cover of Pink Floyd's "Comfortably Numb," and I got to guest drum on that one. And that was a lot of fun. That was so cool, and it was just amazing to finally get to perform on stage with somebody, because Kimberly and Jason, One Eye Doll, they started here in Austin, then went to California. So when I was first starting to play drums and everything around 2009, 2010 is when I first saw them. So to finally get to be on stage and rock out with them all across the country, that was really cool. And like I said, I picked up a lot of skills on the road that when I came back here were really great for production and just helping around. Then I just knew all the things to do at a gig that could help everybody and make everybody's life easier. And so that's kind of where I tried to do.
Well, that's why I know that you've got longevity in the music community and in the music world, as far as because you can you can wear a lot of hats, is what I'm saying. And
I mean, the more things you can do, the more opportunities you can take, right? And that's I try to throw as much crap at the wall and see what sticks. Which avenue kind of works.
And you're taking the opportunity to get better at your craft. You mentioned earlier when we were doing some mic checks and stuff earlier about getting to take a lesson with one of your idols here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So Mr. Chris Daddy Dave, one of the most legendary drummers on earth. I've been a fan for 8 years, and he put out a call for an Instagram masterclass kind of thing, and I didn't make the cut, but apparently I got pretty close, and reached out see if I want to do maybe some private lessons, and that was just kind of everything, especially after a year of playing no gigs. To have a drumming hero reach out. And he set up a Zoom call, and I think he was kind of interviewing me, as to whether or not he wanted to work with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I reached out and they said, I'm down. They reached back out, said, here's the forms and everything. And so we're in the process of setting that up, and to get an hour with one of my drumming heroes, who is this grandmaster drummer. He's a grandmaster Jedi, man. It feels
you get to
pretty
pick his
good.
brain for an hour. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what we kind of want to focus on, and I'm just it's going to be great. It comes to a point, because I've been drumming for about 10 or 11 years now, and you got to find different people to learn from, and it's great to get to talk to somebody with that kind of experience. And it just every lesson you can get from somebody way higher level than you helps you level up a little bit more. I'm a huge nerd and gamer, so I kind of look at this whole drumming thing as a D&D campaign, and I'm playing the drummer class and kind of seeing where I can go with it. But yeah,
I can see our producer excited. Backstage getting excited because you mentioned D&D.
Mike, what's a funnier drummer joke? If you were like, hey man, when you get to your first lesson, and then it's like, hey, how you doing, Mike? And you're like, okay, I just want to learn Moby Dick. It would be Moby Dick, or if you said, I want to learn Wipeout.
Yeah.
Which one would he laugh at And which one? would he just say?
YYZ. YYZ. I'd probably Moby Dick. It's kind of it's a hard thing to do on the drums there. My first, actually, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, one of my first lessons, I came to my drum teacher and I had Ticks and Leeches by Tool, and I was like, I want to learn this. And he listened to it and was just like, what? I don't know. I don't know if you've heard Ticks and Leeches, but it's this crazy, awesome drumming pattern. Danny Carey's
Danny Carey's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, look, Mike, I look forward to all of your music for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
Till death do us part, because we're connected at the hip at this point. And look, yes, you've taken a hiatus, but you're using it for good. And I'm looking forward to all the. I mean, you were just building the foundation for your rocket to propel off of. Okay, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, let's get those vaccines flowing so we can see Mike live again.
Plug whatever you want. Plug it.
So I have this petition to save the USPS. I started last April.
Yeah.
And it's sitting at about 1.6 million signatures right now. And the latest thing is like to support HR 2382, which would help take away a mandate that forced the USPS to prepay retirement benefits up to 75 years, which kind of kneecapped them financially, and they've been losing money ever since. So that's finally kind of being addressed here. And if you have the time, just Google "Save the USPS," and I think.
And then just a real quick, they have to pay. They have to put money into a bank account for an employee that hasn't even retired.
Yeah,
up to 75 years in the future.
That's my understanding of it, and from what I've read, and it's kind of something that kneecapped them from all the things I've gathered. I'm no expert. I've just read a bunch of stuff, different articles.
Yeah.
I would highly suggest anybody to go read it for themselves.
What's the USPS Fairness Act, is it?
Yeah, the USPS Fairness Act of 2006 is what people who are smarter than me have been saying kneecap them financially, and they're finally thinking about repealing that draconian measure. And I actually just put out an update on my petition. So, if you got the time, support HR 2382, and the USPS is the. I don't think people realize how much we rely on that, and it's the way people get medicine in rural areas. Benjamin Franklin was the first postmaster general. I don't know if you knew that, but
Mike, I need to ask you, because look, I care about this, right? And sometimes I care too much about things and politics. Did you hear me losing my mind earlier?
A little bit. I was with my girl, so I had half an ear.
Oh, did your girl hear too?
No, I had Bluetooth.
I'd have let her listen. I'd have made her listen. Listen to this guy lose his shit.
I lost my shit because they told me that our listeners don't want us to talk about politics.
Oh, well, it's a touchy subject. I think that's one of the problems with this country is like we're not taught to entertain thoughts, entertain ideas and arguments without being personally attacked or feeling like you're personally attacked. And I think that's something that all goes back to education. I think like a lot of the problems we have in society all goes back to education, like how you view the world and how you perceive reality. And, if people are political beliefs are tied to their like selves, then like attacking their political beliefs is an attack on themselves, and I don't know. I just wish we lived in a society where that was just more separated when we were younger. You start young, and get that kind of train of thought. But I'm sorry to interrupt. Well, keep going.
I mean, I really have a feeling that our listeners are more concerned about the delivery of the political speech that they get on our show than the actual political speech. It's more the way it's delivered to them.
Gotcha. It is. I mean, there's a lot to be said. A
What are you eating, Kyle? What are you eating, Kyle?
And your mom starts to.
Say what you got to say.
He was shoving a sandwich in his mouth. All right, it's time for memes, Mike.
Okay.
This one makes me uncomfortable because I just had my mom on the show earlier.
That's right.
But
wait, your mom's got an OnlyFans?
There is a time when this.
Why didn't she plug her OnlyFans when she was on the show?
some young man is in this predicament right now. Like this, but I applaud everyone. Everyone's
Hey,
an
if that kid knows what's right, he should be his mom's hype man.
Yeah.
He should be telling his geometry teacher to check out his mom's OnlyFans.
This is in relation to the game stock. You know, everybody was like, "Oh, please,
Won't somebody please think of?" Yeah, won't somebody please think of the poor billionaires?
Here's a tip for COVID tests: stick a finger in your ass, and if you smell it, if it smells like shit, you're
highly
negative.
scientific. Is that the latest CDC release?
If you can't smell it, you've got COVID. You've got this, dude. This is me every time on the dating sites. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I can't do Saturday nights.
That's actually my plans right after this.
You don't have indoor plants.
These are shoes that popped up in my Facebook. I should have asked Kevin about this. These shoes popped up. What is this? This is what COVID's doing to people.
Is that? Those look like you could fly with those. I don't know. They look pretty advanced.
I got this text message from our friend Brian. He texted me this meme. It says, "I made a new friend. Real or podcast host? Podcast host." And then I replied, "I'm your friend, Brian." I mean, I'm real. I'm real. This is me. Pandemic fine. A state of being in which you are employed and healthy during a pandemic, but you're also tired and depressed and feel like trash all the time.
Hey, that's a perfect descriptor. That's very on the nose. Good job, Sarah Smith.
I live by myself, and I bought a 15-pound brisket for the Super Bowl party. That there's no party.
15. So you bought a 15-pound brisket for yourself.
I bought it
He also bought a 60-pound wooden vibrator.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good time.
Actually, it was probably more than 60 pounds. It was $60 though.
Is Drake a pedophile? No, I don't want to go to church. If I wanted to hear a pedophile talk about God's plan, then I'd just listen to Drake.
Is Drake a pedophile?
Drake's a pedophile?
Is there?
I don't know. It had church and pedophile in it. So I figured it was.
I heard Marilyn Manson had some accusations.
He had some problems.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Grooming some young ladies.
My favorite.
I mean, are we surprised?
My favorite conspiracy theory is that everything is going to be okay.
That's a good one.
That is not your favorite conspiracy theory.
American
textbooks. It's apt.
Oh my goodness. Dude, let me tell you this. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce this.
This is going to cost you a fortune.
It's going to cost me a fortune, and it should. I messaged Nathan Calhoun of We Are the Asteroid. He was on the show. Francis, his wife, his lovely wife, and very talented wife. I messaged her, and I wanted, you know that little meme where it's the you and Jesus walking. It's like, Jesus, sometimes I saw there was 2 footsteps, but then sometimes I turn around and there was only 1 set of footsteps. What was going on there? Where were you?
Why'd you leave me?
So I messaged her, and this was after a mushroom-induced meditation session. And I said, I want you to do this, but have Jesus doing the talking to the mushroom, and then the mushroom saying, because Jesus. I was carrying you, Jesus, the whole time. And this is it. It's coming, man. Oh God, it's awesome. Gonna be beautiful. This is what you want, isn't it?
Whoa.
Maybe you can trade a giant wooden vibrator for that painting.
This is what you Bernie supporters want for all of us.
That's
is that Macho Man? Wait, go back to that previous one, Jimmy. Was that Macho Man Randy Savage?
Maybe.
I think that's Macho Man Randy Savage, bro.
With a skull cap on.
Snap into it.
Okay, so a lot of a lot of facial media has been quiet lately, and I've realized that it's because they've gone to other places. I've joined Clubhouse, and it's kind of garbage. And then I was checking in on this Gab, right? I don't know how. I have a message for other Christians. Don't be lukewarm. That's not what your faith is for. Our Savior died on the cross so your sins would be forgiven, and He doesn't want you to be quiet about it. And that was from Marjorie Green Taylor.
Whoa.
Taylor Green.
Right?
Taylor
And
Green.
then Democrats want to paint Marjorie Green Taylor as wacky, but the truth is she's probably the most normal person to ever be elected to Congress. That's why they hate her so much.
Wow.
She's not normal.
It's like we're living in two separate realities. It really is. I mean, it's interesting how Fox News and like all these different like crazy, like hardcore right wing hate radio has just shifted perspective and like really divided things.
It's interesting how politics
Liberty Hangout's a Russian bot, bro. Don't listen to that shit.
But we've also seen that capitalism, is a policing agent because there's been a lot of lawsuits levied at some of these news organizations for some of their repeated espousing of these conspiracies.
Oh yeah, didn't they fire Lou Dobbs? Like,
yeah,
Fox News got sued $2 billion. That's crazy.
That's crazy. So listen, my name James Preston Atkins, but for 24 hours I was James Neil Atkins, and my mom just found these savings bonds that my grandma bought, so they changed my name the next day to James Preston Atkins, a more presidential name. She was going to name me after Neil Diamond, her favorite. Nice. Even the chair. Don't get me started on
why do you got to go there with Neil Diamond?
It coming to America today. Come on, man. I was James Neil Atkins, but now I'm James Preston Atkins. Los Beatles.
I'm gonna just start calling you brother.
Los
Loves.
This is me most of the time.
Me waiting for my problems. Yeah. They'll just solve themselves after a while.
This one you can't see.
He's actually dressed like Spider-Gwen in a skin-tight female Spider-Man costume. Great.
I want you guys to get free beer, and I want everybody to get free beer, all of our listeners to get free beer. During the Super Bowl, there's going to be a Michelob Ultra commercial. If at that time you type in this URL, this is www.millerlite, and then like a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's in the newspaper, but you can find it somewhere. If you type in, and then you can copy and paste it somewhere, I'm sure. But during that commercial, if you go to that website, they will give you a free beer. So go there. Remember that tomorrow.
What kind of beer are they going to give you?
They're going to give you a Miller Lite, dude. So that's Life on the left. He's like, hey man, here you go, catch. It's a lemon. He's like, oh cool, I'm going to make some lemon smack. No, and then Life's shitting on him.
Life's just going at it.
Yeah. This is me on cigarettes, bro. Dwayne, I promise.
Is that your cigarettes and not your weed?
Yeah, subtract cigarettes. I mean, subtract weed and put cigarettes there.
Put cigarettes there.
I got some weed doing that right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that as soon as I listen to him complaining about trying to quit smoking. When he's not trying to quit smoking, I watched him smoke a cigarette this afternoon.
Yeah. But you'll never climb to heaven.
While I am 54 days free of the demon and tobacco, sir.
Like, y'all paint your eyebrows, don't tell me nothing. He's
got a point.
He's got a good point. He's got a point. And then action pants.
His father is going to be really upset with him about his shoe polish.
Yeah. Look at the bottom right. Now with extra large snack sack.
The action zone.
Yeah. It's a real ad. Oh
The
my
actions.
goodness!
Wow.
She's staring right at it
Also,
too. Oh, these are the shirts.
these are the shirts. I want to let everybody know that on AustinFacialHairClub.com, you can go and get your Come and Shave It 15 shirts. They're pre-order only. The last minute to order is at 11:59 on the 20th of February. Shirts will be shipped 7 to 10 days after that. So visit
Get in that merch store.
AustinFacialHairClub.com.
Get you some.
Go sign up for Come and Shave It 15. Mike, you don't have a beard.
Sign your.
No, I don't.
Do you have any animals, Mike?
I do. I have 2 dogs.
Sign up your 2 dogs to compete.
Do they have facial hair?
Yes, one of them does.
Okay,
even if they don't.
Okay, all right, cool. That's awesome.
You can
We have
sign
2
them up.
non-human categories.
Yeah, and for
What's
as
the other one?
little as $1. There's like a best groomed animal, and then there's
okay.
a feral, like
Most feral
style.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you can. So the one that doesn't have facial hair, you could just make a thing. You know, what do you call those things? Costume.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
I've been drinking. The drinking word was vibrator. Our guests earlier we had Kevin, and we didn't even talk
Kevin.
about the Weenus connection.
Oh yeah, Kevin. I haven't seen that dude in a long time. Kevin's a cool dude. I mean, I was in a band called Weenus with him, and it was a complete improvisational band. Everybody would just make everything up on the spot, which is always pretty fun. And what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
What is a weenus, Mike? Explain to us what a weenus
It's your
is.
skin. As far as I know, it's skin, right? Like it's the skin. Everybody's got a weenus.
It's this skin right here.
This skin right here. This skin underneath your elbow.
Yep. This skin, this flappy skin
I've
at
always,
the bottom of your
I've always
elbow.
known that the way to tell if you're dehydrated is if the skin flaps back.
If you got flat back weenus, if your weenus flaps back.
Mine's a little slow on the flat back. I need to drink some water.
But yeah, Kevin, we used to play together.
You mean it's not supposed to do that?
No, that is terrible.
Whoa.
What have you done?
Go get some water right now.
Right now.
I drink water all day.
Kyle, let's
I drink
see your
filtered
weenus.
water all day.
Kyle, let's see your
weenus, Kyle.
All right, we were all showing our weenus. Okay.
Yeah, you're hydrated well.
We should have brought. We should probably.
You're doing
all
right,
Mike.
You got good weenus.
All right. Good weenus.
You think this is why my pee is brown, Jimmy?
Yes. You need to drink some freaking water, dude.
Your urine's not supposed to look like copper?
No. All right. Look, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Now we're going out with a Obsolete Machines video. What are we watching?
So this is a live version of one of our songs called Dirt, which you actually can check out on Spotify. It's when I check out a band, I always like looking at their live performances because for me, I really love live. That's where it's at. And
I like watching those tiny desks.
Oh yeah, I love those tiny desk concerts. So I wanted to provide a live performance of ours at Safe House, and this was done in a clothing shop, and it was awesome, and it was a lot of fun and a really, really good night. So hope y'all.
Thanks for joining us, man. Everybody go and visit MikeHidalgo.music on Facebook. Follow everything he does because he's got some good stuff coming, and Obsolete Machines as well, which I believe is Obsolete Machines Music on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Thanks, Mike. Thank Mike.
Y'all. Take care.
Hey, bro.
Later.
Thank you,
Thanks
everybody,
for being here, Mike. Thanks.
Yeah, and thank you,
ahead.
Dwayne. No, you say
Jimmy.
It. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for joining us tonight. Make sure to join us next Saturday. Go to our YouTube page, like it.
Thanks, Mom.
Subscribe to it.
Thanks,
Hit
Kevin.
that notification bell so you know when we're live.
Thanks everybody for
make Jimmy
tuning
happy.
in on everybody. Kyle, Austin, Robin, Dylan, Drew,
all the comments.
Jeff, Larry, everybody talking beards, everybody that chimed in on the chit chat. Really appreciate it. You make it feel like your family. I mean, really, the way that
HR 2382 and save the postal service. Do that.
I almost quit like 9 times before the show even started, and these guys were like, "Why is this guy freaking out?" I'm a fragile little being. But I appreciate you guys listening and sharing and watching, and tell your friends about it. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Guys, you got any final thoughts?
Nah.
Cool.
No, it's gonna be an interesting post show. We got some things to discuss.
Obsolete Machines. Check out this video. What's the name of the song, Kyle?
Yeah, I don't. Dirt. It's called Dirt. It's Dirt. All right.
Should have been paying attention to our guest who introduced the
song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alone. I need more time to get my whole head straight. I need your love. I need your love. Oh. Take me back. I'm falling. I said you turn me into the dark. But you think I'm feeling more like the dirt. I need your love. I need your love. Oh. Take me back. I'm falling. Oh, oh, oh. Flies have fallen dead on my lonely back. They flapped their wings till they fell fast asleep. They are resting peacefully in my heart. Until you come to brush them off the sheets. I need some love. I need some love. Take me back. Oh, oh, oh. I need some love. Take me back. Okay, you can applaud now.